2003, 3G. So things start to speed up now. Things start to get more interesting and more and quicker and more rich. But not as rich as we know it now, but this is the backbone of pretty much everything we do these days in mobile. So that Vodafone stuff we showed just now with the shoot and score, that had to go to a mobile site. That had to go to the internet and to take you to the next step. Same with this Nike ID thing. We do a lot of stuff for Vodafone as well. When you join Vodafone, we send people to a welcome site and show them, like, you know, all the stuff that we want to sell them, basically. We're finding as well now that a lot of e-commerce is run through mobile sites as well, or more and more people are willing to put their credit card details into a mobile site to buy stuff. M&S are having a lot of success with their m-commerce, with their Mobi site with m-commerce backbone. So are H&M as well. The interesting thing about H&M is that on their Mobi site, that's what we call them, Mobi sites, you can click through to Facebook and start, you know, saying I like this dress or this t-shirt or whatever, and talk to other fans of H&M. But there are 940 million subscriptions to 3G services worldwide, and that's rising quite quickly as well. 56% of UK 25 to 34-year-olds access their web on the mobile phone in 2010. So things are starting to pick up now. Things are getting a lot richer, as you can see, as we enter into 2007, where things changed pretty much overnight. And I remember being in a meeting, a terrible meeting at Disney, where this guy had one of these, and I was just saying, no, it's never going to catch on. That doesn't look like a phone to me. And then in 2008, the Android platform came along as well. So basically, now smartphones really taking off. Phones are becoming a lot richer, a lot faster, and they can do lots more as well, which I'll get onto in a second. But really, what this changed, although apps have been around for years, like the first Nokia 3G phones, the first Nokia, the green screen ones, Snakes. You know, Snake. Remember Snake? That was an app. Like an app's just a program, but because these phones have a lot more memory now and a lot quicker, apps and they're a lot, and because you don't have to download them all the time, they just sit on your handset. Things are starting to become really interesting now and speed up, and things become a lot more richer, more useful, more entertaining. For a lot of people, it just means like Facebook. Like a lot, you know, the Facebook app on your phone is the most important app. More than 150 million active users access Facebook through mobile devices across 200 mobile operators in 60 countries. At the end of this little section, I've got some really juicy social network and mobile stats as well, which I can share with you. But the most exciting thing about apps, right? The thing that really razzes my berries about apps is not necessarily the rich graphics and everything. This could sound a bit techie for a second, but it's not, I promise you. It's all about the sensors. So these mobile phones, they do a lot more now. Smartphones do loads more. So loads more than the old like Nokia 3610 or whatever. For example, like, this is the most boring slide in the presentation, but it's also the most exciting. The sensors on my iPhone, what did I do with my iPhone? Right, I don't know where it is, but basically, no, it's okay. The sensors on your iPhone. So this is a hangover from Alexander Graham Bell. It has a microphone. We use it for voice, but it has a microphone. So that's not just used for speaking anymore. It has a touch screen. It has a camera, so we can see with it now. It has an eye. It has a accelerometer, so we can know, which way it's up and which way is down, and it can detect motion. It knows exactly where we are in the world, with GPS location. It has a compass, so we know which way we're facing as well. Actually, I do need my phone. Here it is. And it has a light sensor as well. It has proximity sensor. So I didn't know what proximity sensor was until last night. Anyone know about the proximity sensor? It can tell whether something's near it, but they turn the on smartphones, the screen goes off when you're near your face. So I always wondered how it did that, because I always thought it was this motion, but no, it's not. It's the proximity sensor. And but yeah, and we're moving into what in some quarters they call the sense economy, where the more sensors things have, the more they'll do, and the more kind of mashed up and weird and exciting things are going to become. Like maybe soon there'll be a thermometer on a phone, or there'll be a humidity sensor. You know, like by mashing all these things up and all the stuff I've shown you, and the constant data stream from the web, things get very interesting. For example, this. Has anyone seen the London Museum Street Museum app? So this is taking your camera, the eye, it's taking your position through GPS, it's taking the compass, which way you're facing, and the accelerometer as well. It basically, the Museum of London takes you on a tour around the streets of London and shows you how that place used to look through the eye of your mobile phone. This cookery app uses the microphone so that when you're cooking, you can blow onto the phone to turn the page of onto the next, so you don't get flour and butter and salt all over your screen. There's this app here is really interesting. I found this last night, where it's called Fluke. It's a British app, and basically you take photos of where you are and leave those photos as postcards where you are. So this is a pub near me, the Antelope in Tooting. It's very good, and it shows me where it is. But then I started, and so people are using these apps now and using all these sensors and to share stuff a lot more freely and a lot more easy. So, and this is kind of like, I got a bit excited about this app, and I thought actually it's just like Leia. Does anyone know Leia? Anyone seen Leia? Leia's brilliant. I'll show you Leia. Hold on. Leia basically is using the eye of the phone again and showing you things that people have left behind. That we'll have a look at that in a minute. But basically, it's using the eye and using that augmented reality. So augmenting things over the top of what you're seeing already, showing you how far away they are on the map. So showing you things like photos people have left behind, or pubs, or bars, restaurants, interesting stuff, you know. So we're now starting to see that everything's becoming clickable. Not just advertising, not just media, everything is becoming clickable. I can leave something here on this table digitally, and then you can come along and you can click the table with your phone. And so everything's becoming clickable. The world becomes kind of clickable. My wife told me about this last night when I was explaining the basis of this talk, and I could have kissed her, because this is pretty much the. I mean, I probably did kiss her. She is my wife. There's this app called Pose, and it's going to be a phenomenon in the world of retail and fashion. It does the same as a lot of other apps, but it's just positioning basically. You're in H&M, or you're in Topshop or whatever. You take a photo of yourself in the changing room wearing the clothes, instantly post it to Facebook or Twitter or your social networks, and people will, and your friends can tell you whether to buy it or not. So again, using the eye, using the mobile networks, really interesting. And it's a lot like, has anyone seen Instagram, which is, it's a camera basically with filters to make your pictures look a lot more interesting. But there's been a lot of investment into this recently. There's been a camera app for a while called Hipstamatic, which makes your photos look a lot nicer. But Instagram allows you to share it immediately and tell people where it was and all that. And it's the new Flickr, I've heard. It's the new Flickr, if that means anything. So yeah, everything becomes clickable. People are now using all the sensors, even though we don't necessarily think of it like that, on their mobile phone, combined with SMS, MMS, SMS, the 3G networks, 4G coming soon as well. A lot of things it's going to be a lot quicker. It already is in Sweden and the United States. Hello.
I have a question. I don't know if you guys have this out here, but in the States they're using the cameras to scan special barcodes.
Yes.
Tell you about
yes.
The different products.
Yes. And you know what? About 12:30 last night, I thought, you know what? I haven't put anything about 2D barcodes in here. But I think that, does anyone know about the QR codes? Everyone knows about them? But like, they're not really taking off over here so much. They're massive in some other markets. But I think they pretty much work on the same premise as the SMS thing I showed you earlier.
Yeah.
You put a text this to this, and we get onto the internet. We have a you have a 2D barcode on something. You scan it. We're onto the internet pretty much. But the problem with them is that it's still kind of like VHS versus Betamax. You know, there's all these different apps and different forms of barcode. Not one's really like overtaken the rest of them yet.
Yeah, it's pretty big in the States. Like you can go in a store and every single price thing has a barcode, like in Best Buy, which is an electronics store. You scan it and gives you all the details about the product.
Yeah.
But they also have stuff where you get commercials. They also have, like, you scan the barcode. There's different apps and it tells you who has it the cheapest near you or online. So it's becoming bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the curate's egg in a way, though. Like, I think it's going to be the thing that everyone does eventually.
Can I say something on that? I think the QR code has been improved the last years as well. The way I saw it the last probably couple of years is that I saw business experts having a business card, and at the back side of the card they could use this card as a mother card. They could have in their wallet. So once you have an iPhone, you can take a picture of the QR code, and then all your information is stored directly to the address book. So there are different uses of the QR code, and yeah, thanks for sharing this example about the PC World, you said, in the States?
Best Buy.
Best Buy. But I saw this in France as well, in the supermarket. So all the products, they started having barcodes and QR codes, and they could see the expiry dates, and if the product was organic, and where it was coming from, if it was like French or from abroad. So there are different types of uses for this, but I see a tremendous growth in the next years.
My prediction is that Microsoft are going to be the ones. Microsoft are going to have an incredible 2D barcode app, and I think that's going to be the thing that gets them back into the mobile space and back into big players.